What happens if you invest just $10 every day? Let's be honest, most people dream about becoming a millionaire. We picture someone with a huge salary, a wildly successful business, or maybe a lucky lottery ticket. We assume there has to be some secret shortcut that ordinary people don't know about. But what if the difference between an average financial future and a wealthy one starts with just $10? Not $1,000. Not $10,000. Just $10. That's less than what many people spend on a Starbucks run, a DoorDash fee, a streaming subscription they barely use, or some random Amazon purchase they won't even remember next month. So what actually happens if someone invests just $10 every day? The answer is a lot more interesting than most people expect. Meet Adam and James. They're both 25 years old. They have similar jobs, earn roughly the same income, and live pretty normal lives. Every day, both of them have an extra $10 they could spend. Adam does what most people do. Some days it's coffee. Some days it's fast food. Some days it's an app subscription he forgot he even signed up for. Nothing crazy. Just little purchases that feel harmless in the moment. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. James isn't some financial genius. He doesn't spend hours studying stocks. He doesn't trade crypto. He doesn't watch financial videos all day. He simply does one thing. Every day, he invests that same $10. That's it. No secret strategy. No lucky stock picks. No complicated spreadsheets. Just one small habit repeated over and over again. Most people hear this and immediately think, $10? Seriously? That's not going to change my life. And that's exactly why so many people underestimate investing. Because the numbers look boring at first. $10 a day works out to about $300 a month. Not exactly life-changing money. Now imagine James puts that $300 every month into a simple diversified stock portfolio that earns an average annual return of around 12%. The first few years don't look very exciting. After 5 years, James has invested about $18,000. His portfolio has grown to roughly $25,000. Nice. But not exactly millionaire territory. Most people would look at those results and lose interest. Some would quit altogether. Because here's the frustrating part about building wealth: in the beginning, it barely looks like anything is happening. But James keeps going. Month after month. Year after year. No excitement. No shortcuts. Just consistency. Fast forward 10 years. The first few years don't look very exciting. After 5 years, James has invested about $18,000. His portfolio has grown to roughly $25,000. Nice. But not exactly millionaire territory. Most people would look at those results and lose interest. Some would quit altogether. Because here's the frustrating part about building wealth: in the beginning, it barely looks like anything is happening. But James keeps going. Month after month. Year after year. No excitement. No shortcuts. Just consistency. Fast forward 10 years. James has invested about $36,000 of his own money. His portfolio is now worth around $70,000. Now things are starting to get interesting. But here's where the story takes a turn. James isn't becoming wealthier because he's suddenly investing more money. He's becoming wealthier because time is starting to do most of the heavy lifting. The money he invested years ago is now generating returns. those returns are generating their own returns. And those returns are generating even more returns. The snowball is finally starting to roll downhill. Fast forward another decade. 20 years have passed. James has personally invested around $72,000. His portfolio? It's now worth more than $300,000. Think about that for a second. His investments have produced far more money than he actually contributed himself. At this point, something interesting starts happening. Some years, James's portfolio grows by more money than he manages to save from his paycheck. That's when investing starts feeling completely different. Not because the math changed, but because the results finally become visible. Now let's jump to year 30. James has invested roughly $109,500 in total. His portfolio has crossed the $1 million mark. $1 million. Built from $10 a day. No lottery ticket. No inheritance. No viral business. No overnight success story. Just a simple decision repeated thousands of times. Meanwhile, Adam spent the exact same money. The coffee is gone. The food is gone. The subscriptions expired. Most of those purchases are completely forgotten. But James still owns every dollar he invested. And those dollars spent decades working on his behalf. This is why wealthy people become obsessed with compounding. Not because it's exciting. Actually, it's incredibly boring for a long time. It's like planting an oak tree. For years, it doesn't seem impressive. You water it. You wait. You wonder if anything is happening at all. Then one day you look up and realize it's towering over everything around it. The biggest mistake people make isn't investing too little. It's expecting results too quickly. We live in a world that wants instant gratification. Instant delivery. Instant entertainment. Instant success. But wealth doesn't usually work that way. Wealth grows quietly. Slowly. Almost invisibly. Until one day the progress that felt impossible suddenly looks obvious. And here's the part that matters most. The exact amount isn't really the point. Maybe you start with $10. Maybe it's $20. Maybe it's $50. The amount can change. The habit is what matters. Because once you build the habit of paying your future self first, increasing the amount becomes much easier. Most people could afford to start. They just don't realize how expensive "I'll start later" can become. So the real question isn't, can $10 a day make you rich? The real question is, what happens when you give your money enough time to grow? Because building wealth usually isn't about making one brilliant decision. It's about making one small smart decision over and over again. Year after year. Decade after decade. The next time you're about to spend $10 on something you'll probably forget by next week, ask yourself, would I rather buy a temporary convenience today, or a little more freedom tomorrow? It seems like a tiny choice. But repeated thousands of times, tiny choices have a way of completely changing your future. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe for more videos like this, and let me know in the comments, what's one thing you spend about $10 on almost every day? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.